What is it about a perfectly cooked pizza that captivates the senses and brings people together? Is it the golden, crispy crust or the rich, tantalizing aroma that fills the air? Today, we dive into the art and science of creating that perfect pizza, guided by the hands of a seasoned chef. First, the foundation of any great pizza starts with the dough. The chef begins by combining warm water, a teaspoon of sugar, and a packet of active dry yeast in a large mixing bowl. This concoction is left to sit for about 5 minutes, or until it's frothy and bubbling, a clear sign that the yeast is alive and ready to work its magic. Next, the chef adds 2 cups of all-purpose flour and a generous pinch of salt to the yeast mixture. He uses his hands to mix the ingredients until the dough begins to form. This is when the physical connection to cooking becomes palpable. Flour is added gradually until the dough is soft but not sticky. It's then turned out onto a floured surface and kneaded for about 10 minutes. The kneading is not just a step in the process, it's a technique that requires precision and patience, ensuring the dough is smooth and elastic. After the dough has been kneaded, it's placed in a lightly oiled bowl and covered with a damp cloth. The chef sets it aside in a warm spot to rise. This is when the dough doubles in size thanks to the yeast working its fermentation magic, creating those desirable airy pockets. While the dough rises, the chef prepares the pizza sauce. He chooses ripe tomatoes, which are blended until smooth. Into a saucepan, he adds a splash of olive oil, 2 minced garlic cloves, and a pinch of salt. Once the garlic is fragrant, the tomato blend is poured in, along with a sprinkle of oregano and basil. The sauce is allowed to simmer gently, thickening slightly and melding the flavors together. An hour later, the dough has doubled, and the chef punches it down gently, releasing any excess air. He divides the dough into 2 balls. Each is rolled out into a thin circle on a floured surface. Here, the chef's skill is evident as he expertly tosses the dough, allowing gravity to help stretch it into a perfect round. Now comes the assembly. The chef ladles the homemade sauce onto the stretched dough, spreading it evenly with the back of the spoon. He then sprinkles a generous amount of mozzarella cheese over the sauce. Following the cheese, he adds toppings of choice, perhaps slices of pepperoni, a handful of olives, and a few leaves of fresh basil for that burst of color and flavor. The pizza slides into a preheated oven, set at 475 degrees Fahrenheit. It bakes for about 12 to 15 minutes, or until the crust is golden and the cheese is bubbly and slightly browned. As the pizza emerges from the oven, the chef allows it to rest for a few minutes before slicing it. This resting time helps the cheese set and makes the pizza easier to cut. In summary, the chef has demonstrated the crucial steps in pizza making. Preparing the yeast and dough, letting it rise, making the sauce from scratch, skillfully handling the dough, assembling the pizza with quality ingredients, and baking it to perfection. Each step is executed with care and expertise, revealing not just a recipe but a passion for the craft of pizza making. Indeed, a perfect pizza is more than just food. It's a culinary experience, a creation that delights and gathers, crafted by the hands of a master.